Hello and welcome to my video on developing your and creating your own vision for success in 2017. My name is Simone Williams. I'm the owner of Clarify Coaching Services and a professional development coach. I have been working in the field of people development now for nearly 15 years. It's been a long time, and I just want to give you some tools and tips that I've learned along the way of how to best develop a vision board or mantra, depending on how you like to do it, that actually is meaningful, individual and specific to what you want to get out of your 2017. So I'm going to be using my model, which is the Clarify model, and that stands for Clear Learning, Awareness and Reflective Insights Facilitated for You. So I'm going to use some of that and break that down and show you how best you can develop a clear vision board for yourself. So let's get started. So first of all, what is a vision? Okay, so we hear this word, what's the vision of your company? Where do you see yourself? So we want to really explore what that's about, and ultimately it's the end state, right? It's where you want to be, it's the outcome, it's the feeling that you get once you have succeeded. So we have to look at how you envision your future to be, and then we can start to put some of that down on paper and or audio, depends on how you do it in this world of technology. Okay, so let's start off with the idea of vision boarding. So many of you may have seen vision boards. I call them visions for success. That was the way I was trained in them by a fantastic trainer, criminologist called Liz Fabiano. And so I'm using some of her techniques along with other areas that I've learned on how best to develop that. So let's get started with showing you what a vision board looks like. Okay, so this is one, how well you can see that. Okay, so this is a traditional vision board, vision for success. And so it's magazine cutouts and using different visuals and words that really link to what you want to achieve out of success. So I did this one in a training, well, we're talking probably 8 or 9 years ago. And some of it for me has actually come to fruition, but it wasn't actually designed specifically for me. But then when I looked at it, I realized there's so many goals that I want to achieve. So I kind of kept this one with me as an ideal, but I do have my own separate one. So let's have a look at how we can do this now. Okay, so first of all, the first thing that I must say is that there are no rules to a vision board. All right, this has to be yours. You have to think of the things that you want. There's no point in copying kind of the one that I've just shown you and saying, right, that's my vision. It has to be really individual, and you have to really think about what success looks like for you. All right, so how do you get to that point? All right, so first you need to be, the first letter of my model is C for clear. Okay, and how do we get clear about what it is that we want for success? So let's have a look. All right, so first of all, you need to get clear about what it is that you want, okay, and also what you don't want. All right, so if being highly successful and having lots of money is having success that's focused on money, should I say, is not really for you, then you're not going to see Lamborghinis on your vision board, for example. It has to be about what you want to achieve. Okay, so success is not just about a career. Okay, lots of people link success with professionalism, earning money, being the best they can be in their industry. Okay, that is one part of success, but success to you looks very different. So success to me is living a healthy, happy lifestyle. Okay, yes, wealth is something that's important to me, but that may not necessarily be important to everybody. Okay, so that's just something to think about when you start uncovering and thinking about what it is that you want to achieve. Okay, another thing is I'll give you an idea of some of my clients in terms of what success looks like for them. So one of my clients was very clear with me that family is the most important thing. Having time to be a good parent is the most important thing to them. Work was a priority, career was a priority, but if that career is not flexible enough to allow them to be a good parent, then that was never going to work for them. So success for them really came down to their parenting, their family, and those values. All right. So in terms of being clear, you need to be clear about your values and what it is that you want. Another client was really focused on health, so they felt that they couldn't achieve or be successful in any other area of their life if they weren't clear about, if they weren't in a healthy space. So they actually focused on, things like gym, things like exercising more regularly, eating healthier. Right, so that might be a goal for some. You'll notice on mine that it's got a mixture of everything. So let me just show you the one that we had here. Okay, so it has like pride and career and health, right? And then you see a big fridge there with quite healthy food in. Now, my fridge doesn't look like that yet, but let's hope we get there. Okay, so my personal success is about my purpose, okay, my passion for my purpose, and seeing results that I can give to support other people into getting their success and getting the things that they want out of life, okay? So you need to ask yourself a few questions, all right? So this is the point where you get the pen and paper ready. I think I forgot to tell you that, but you need a pen and paper, right? It's about what is the ideal state? So you have to ask yourself, in an ideal world, if everything was in its place, what would that mean for you? How would that feel? What are the things that you want to see in your future that you may have already, but you may not have? So you really need to think about those things and really give yourself that space and time to work out and be clear about what it is that you want, and that it links together nicely. So, you might feel that you want to achieve, be the best in your career. And so what else does that mean for you? What would that then look like? How is being best in your career make other areas of your life clearer? Okay, so you might be focusing on time, making sure you have time to improve yourself so that you can get to the top of your career, for example. Okay, all right, so when you think about being clear, you really need to think about, what do I want? Okay, what are the things that I truly want out of life? What are the things I don't want? It's so important to ask yourself the things that you don't want to do, because those things will influence the direction that you go in. All right, so I'm not sure many of you, I'm saying not sure many of you, I'm sure most of you would have heard about Alice in Wonderland, and there's a cute little part of that where they say, where Alice asks, I can't remember the character, about which way do I go, and he says, well, that really depends on which way, so it depends on where it is you want to be. And she says, well, I'm not too sure where I want to be. So the question then is, then why does it matter which way you go? All right, so you really want to be clear about what it is that you want to achieve and where it is you see yourself going before you even start vision boarding. Okay, right, so let's look at the next one, which is learning. And the part of learning that you really need to think about is going back over the year and thinking, what have I learned? It might be skills, it might be about yourself, it might be about other people in your life, but what have you learned about yourself? Okay, it's an important question to ask, because you can start to think about what actions are you already taking to achieve success, what things in your life you probably don't put as much effort in or don't prioritize in your life and you've always wanted to, and it just really helps you to uncover any other areas that you might want to focus on in the next year that will really sharpen whatever area of your life that it is that you're trying to focus on. Okay, what have you learned about yourself that hinders you? Right, so what blocks might there be? I call them attitude blocks. They might be telling yourself that you're just not ready yet, it's not the time. As you know, people say it's never the right time to do most things, so that's something to think about as well. But what are you doing that hinders that? It might be practical things, your job might be getting in the way. When I say getting in the way, I mean it's taking up a lot of your time. It might be your family. There's so many things that happen, and then you've got to think about the day-to-day as well. So what are those areas of your life that are hindering you, and what have you learned about yourself from those things? So really take the time out to think about what you've learned about yourself over this time. And I say over the last year, but it might not be over the last year. It might be, you want to get a new qualification. Well, you might want to think about how you managed your qualifications in the past, how you managed studying in the past, before you put that down, because it might be that actually this type of learning is not for you and you want to experience other things instead of going back to the formal education as such. Okay, so what else would you like to learn, and how else would you like to grow? It's always a good question to ask yourself before you start creating a vision board for yourself. You have to think about what you want to get out of it and what that would then therefore mean for you. Okay, so I'll give a quick example of learning. For years and years and years, I've said to myself, I want to learn a different language, I want to learn Spanish, and I didn't really do anything about it. On the odd occasion I might go on to a website and start searching ways to learn Spanish, but I was never really serious about it until recently. So I put that as a goal for myself for 2017, and the moment I wrote that down as a goal, I then realised actually I've got the time right now to start learning that. So I've actually started that already, so we'll see where we get to. One part of my success for next year for my vision is to be fluent in Spanish. Okay, not super fluent, I've got to give myself space and time to learn this, but I certainly want to do that. So that's something else that you can think about around what is it you want to get out of 2017, how else can you learn and how else can you grow and develop. Alright, so really think about those things before you start putting down on your vision board and taking out the time to actually do the vision, because you need to be clear about what it is that you want to learn about yourself, about other people, and how else you want to grow over the next year. Okay, so we've covered C and L already, so the next one is about awareness. Now, as you can hear, when I'm asking you certain questions, it's already starting to build awareness. So if you apply those questions to yourself, you start to think, okay, well, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What else could I do? And who am I? That is such an important question. There's many times people want to create their own vision for success, and they want to do things that it's not stopping them from doing it, but how much of it do you really want to do? How much of it is a passion for you? Do you really want that next promotion in the organisation, or do you want to set up your own business? Just something to think about. Self-awareness is important, but also awareness of others. So when I think about who supports me, for example, the last few months I've made some major changes in my life. I've moved and spent some time with my mum in Florida. I'm originally from London, and I've spent quite a bit of time now working out what it is I want to do and how I want to do it. And one thing was coming over to Florida for a while and really kind of seeing if this is a place that I want to be in. And so a lot of changes, and with a lot of changes and a lot of things you want to do, you have to kind of seek support. And I learned a lot over the last few months, and when I think back about the people who have helped me, the people who have hindered me, that's really built awareness for me and awareness of other people in and around me. Who are my true supports? Who are the people that really have my back in these kind of situations? And that's important to think about, because no man is an island, and I will do a later video on the concept of support and really getting your internal and external support system in the right place to help you achieve your goals. So we'll come to that in another video. But as I said, no man is an island. We don't do anything really by ourselves. There's always going to be an interaction with somebody. You can go onto a website and you want to do something, but you click on and realize you can't. You click help and you're talking to someone in cyberspace. So there's very few things that we do in this world in isolation. So it's important to think about who are your supports, be aware of your supports, and be aware of your own internal skills and strengths and support system that helps you move forward. What is your level of motivation to achieve these things? And you have to get real with yourself, and that's one thing that I can honestly say. If you are not being 100% real with yourself, and you're almost setting yourself up for failure if you don't know what you're great at, and you just continuously do the same thing over and over again with limited